Today in this video I'm going to share a couple of things which will improve your videography and photography. Before we begin, hit that subscribe button. It will not cost you anything, but it will motivate me and pump me to make this kind of content for you guys. I recently made a video about the gear that you shouldn't invest right away. We all know the camera gear is really bit expensive, so you don't want to buy some stuff that you're not gonna use. So if you need some advices, you can check that video up here somewhere. It happened to me so many times. I took my camera and my lens, put that to my camera bag. I went outside, I started shooting some videos and take some pictures, and suddenly I saw that 1 bar of battery, which was so annoying. I was like, what should I do? Should I just, close my camera and maybe if I see something, then I can open it back and then take that scene or capture that photograph? And it was so frustrating because once you have that less battery in your camera, actually you're not gonna get any good pictures anymore because your focus is gonna be like that battery indicator all the time, which is blinking and annoying you. That's why I think you should buy these batteries. If you buy them from the manufacturer, they're gonna be a little bit expensive, but if you search on internet, you will find it, thanks to China, really cheap, especially if you're a Sony user. You know what I mean. You should get these batteries, throw them into your bag, just make sure that they're filled up when you need them, and you're good to go. And it will improve your photography for sure, because then you don't need to think about how much battery you have. Do you have to save it for half an hour, and then it's so frustrating. So that's why I think these are not expensive, guys, and you're buying all these expensive lenses and such. Why not invest in these small batteries, lightweight and easy to carry? Of course you have to just keep a track on them, that they will be full when you need them. It can be really annoying to just smash an empty battery inside. And so my personal advice, before you buy anything extra, if you're just starting out, buy these batteries, guys. You will need these for sure, and you will be so thankful that you have that extra battery in your backpack, you're in the middle of somewhere and you don't have any way to charge your batteries. So that's why I think it will be nice to have a couple of extras in your bag. Well, after we have speaked so many things about throw the batteries to your bag and blah blah blah, well, I think the second gear you should get right away is the backpack, some sort of a bag. It doesn't need to be backpack. It can be something like this, which will just help you to cover your camera, protect it a little bit. Maybe it can be wise to get a backpack, but my personal advice, if you didn't watch my previous video, don't invest in a backpack right away, because there's so many options out there. Everybody have different tastes. I cannot advise you to get a certain backpack. You kind of have to find your own, and because of that reason, I think you shouldn't invest on a backpack right away. You don't need to get the most expensive backpack. What is my point? Try to find some maybe second-handed, even the backpack. For example, I'm using Low Pro 450 Pro Tactics, and I'm really happy with that. Actually, it's heavy duty. I'm hiking and such, so it has all these weather protections and such. That's kind of really important, because your camera has to be protected. I don't know if your camera is weather sealed or not, or the lenses. So because of that reason, I think you might need a good backpack which will protect your gear. Third gear you should get right away is a couple of SD cards, guys. They are not taking so much space. They are really small and they don't weigh at all. You don't need to worry about how much weight they have. I mean, they are so tiny and so small. SD cards are like batteries. It will be handy to have a couple of extras in your backpack, because when you're outside if you're recording something and your SD card is full, what are you gonna do? I mean, you cannot delete anything, right? You cannot delete the stuff that you have already recorded from your SD card. So I mean, if it's full, you're kind of done. So you have to go back. But if you have a couple of extra in your backpack, you don't need to worry at all. You just keep capturing more and more, and you don't need to worry about anymore how much space you got left in the SD card. For example, my camera has an indicator. If I'm recording a video, it shows me how many minutes or how many hours I can record video. And if I see there are like 5 minutes over there, and if I don't have any extra SD card, that's so I think you should, get a couple of SD cards extra, throw them into your bag, and make sure that they're empty when you're going to shooting. You're good to go. Fourth piece of equipment you should get is a good lens. Good glass is gonna change whole your game. I know in the previous video I have told you shouldn't invest in expensive lenses right away, and that's kind of true. You don't want to buy some random lenses and put them on a shelf and let them collect some dusts. Because of that reason, I think you should stick with the lens what you have right now if you're just starting out, and then sooner or later you will understand what kind of lens you need. Then you can invest on a good glass. Lenses are not like cameras. They are kind of future proof. You can change your camera body as long as you're in same brand. You can use the previous lenses that you had, and also maybe you switch to another brand. There is adapters also for those lenses. For example, I am using a Canon mount on a Panasonic camera right now, and that kind of stuff is possible. Once you have a good glass, then you are kind of good to go. The camera, of course, it's nice to have a good camera, but it's really important to have a good glass. Because of that reason, I think sooner or later you should invest on a good glass. I have a couple of advices when you're purchasing a lens. Don't just order a lens from internet webpage. Try to go to a shop, take that lens into your hand and kind of feel it. What kind of material it has, how the dial, how this, focus rings are working and such. And you will kind of understand, is it gonna last for you, and do you want to really use that lens? Is it too heavy for you, or is it okay size? Because you're gonna throw it to your backpack and you don't want to carry tons of weight. For example, you're going to go for hiking and you have a really heavy backpack. That's not ideal. I think because of that reason, you should try to go to a camera shop and try to test the lens over there before purchasing it from internet. And hell, I like so much to go to a camera shop. I get lost there because there's so many stuff to check. I know it's a little bit risky for me. If I go there, I'm buying some stuff that I don't even need. I'm trying to give you these advices. Don't be like me when you go to a shop. Don't be like a kiddo in a candy shop, let's say. Don't try to buy all the candies that you see. Try to stick with the, think what you were supposed to buy there. The next thing that you should get is a microphone. If you're planning to shoot some videos, you don't want to use internal microphone that you have on your camera. You might think that you will be fine in some cases. Well, no, you will not be fine in those cases. So try to get a microphone. I am using, for example, a $50 microphone. It's sounding like this. I think it's way much more better than the internal microphone what I have in my camera. That's why if you're planning to shoot some videos with your camera, get a microphone. Next thing you should sooner or later get is ND filter, guys. If you're planning to shoot outside, you need an ND filter because they are kind of working like sunglasses. When you go outside, you need sunglasses. It's when it's sunny, right? I mean, you're not crazy. You're not just checking sun with bare eyes. I don't think so. I hope not so. So because of that reason, your camera is also kind of the same. It also needs some sunglasses. ND filters are working like that. Basically, they just stop the light coming through the lens to sensor. So it's good to have ND filters in your backpack. You will need them sooner or later for sure, especially if you're doing video. And my personal advice is I've used so many variable ND filters and I kind of hate them because they have some vignetting going on and such. So I don't recommend at all those variable NDs. Maybe, I mean, some people is gonna hate me for that, but I personally think, you know, just regular NDs are totally fine. I can recommend, like, for example, 4-stop ND in the beginning and you will be fine with it, I think, for a long time. And another thing about the ND filters, when you're buying an ND filter, for example, this one what I'm holding right now, this is a 10-stop ND filter and it's 77 millimeters. For example, the biggest lens I'm using is 72, but if I, for example, get a bigger lens such as 77, this will fit there for sure. But how I am putting 77 millimeter to 72, you might think there's step up rings that you can attach this 77 millimeter ND filter. So that way you can even put this ND filter to, for example, 48 millimeter lens. And it doesn't make any sense to buy 10 or, you know, whatever, 5, let's say 10-stop ND filter, because these are not cheap. And that's why I think you can get just one and buy these couple of extra step down rings and, you know, you're good to go. For example, this lens is 58mm. I can install the 77mm ND filter to this easily with the step down rings that I have, and they are not expensive. So I highly recommend buy the highest millimeter ND filter and then you can adapt that to your current lenses with the step down rings and it will be budget friendly. That's it for today, guys. Please leave a comment down below if I have missed something. Don't forget to subscribe, leave a thumbs up if you liked the video. See you guys in the next one.